Yeah, let's get to it. Shit. So, first part, right? What is black culture? It's not a culture. It's a coping mechanism with a B, in my opinion. We glorify the struggle, the hood stories, ops, gang culture, trauma bonding, which in my previous episodes, which I talked about generational trauma, trauma bonding was one of those things that helps push that narrative of generational trauma. Also, it helps steer this black culture that we got now, in which it is not not something that I agree with. I grew up in the hood. Anybody who may watch this video and may know me, you know exactly where I grew up. It isn't the most conducive neighborhood, I would say. It's a reason why I wouldn't raise my child up in that same neighborhood. Um, it's not, at least the things that I seen, it wasn't really a lot of things that gave you much motivation. Of course, there's the whole narrative you always heard: go to college, get a degree, and you should be good. But it was so many other lessons that were just thrown by the wayside. Oh, and go to church as well. You were always taught to go to church, praise the Lord. And ain't no problem with that. But my thing is, it's weird. My thing is, even when you go to church, it's a lot of stuff that's in the Bible that people don't really listen to. We don't really harp on those things that much. We kind of just gloss over them, and we love to talk about things like, if you sinned, you shouldn't judge anyone who else has sinned. Honor thy mother and thy father, even though over well over 60-70% of people, black people in the community, is growing up in a single parent household, right? We celebrate being broke. Now they want you to have a job, right? A lot of people always say, yeah, you should get a job. But anybody who works a regular job knows it's so easy to live paycheck to paycheck. Like, it's sometimes, even when you get raises or get certain moves up in the company, you're still being taxed at a higher rate. So essentially, you're not making that much money. And then people, once they start making a little bit of money, they try to change their standard of living. We don't necessarily preach the whole understanding the standard of living, in which we should stay small, stay low while we can, and then once we're at a certain level, then we can go up. It's so many people, that want to go out and put this money down on the house, and then within 6 months to a year, they're out of the house. We don't promote the best of us. We just promote the loudest of us. That within itself should just ring, volumes of what you see on social media, what you see on TV. The loudest person wins. It's never the one that actually has the best plan to actually get to a certain level and reach certain goals that we don't even know we can achieve yet, right? Next segment. Who taught us this? Where did this concept of what we know as black culture come from? Ask yourself, who profits from this? I think we all would know. Just take a guess. And who is going to protect us from being stuck in these situations? The culture was hijacked by labels, media, and the algorithm. No disrespect to the YouTube algorithm, because I love y'all. Thank y'all for all what y'all done for me personally. Talking about them other algorithms, not y'all. Y'all perfect, A1. But back on the subject, right? We don't own what defines us, but we die oftentimes defending. You know, we will go to bat for all these different people or programs that really don't benefit us in the best way. It may give us some money, it may give us a certain position, but it doesn't really teach us how to grow. It doesn't really teach us the larger, you know, the largest scale of things, right? They don't really like to preach big picture ideas. Anytime you think about anything big picture, it's often met with resistance. It's often met with, um, man, you should just worry about this. Don't worry about the other stuff. You know, that's let them handle that. We just worry about this because you know we just happy to be here. That kind of mindset, that kind of it's nasty work, honestly. You know, I, I I hate to say I hate shit, but that's the kind of stuff I hate. Is kind of keeping you stuck, making you can only stay at this level, right? You don't think outside. You're right here. You're right here, right? We promote violence. We promote disrespect, and a lot of times we promote pure ignorance. That again, just think about in general growing up in the hood, and sometimes when you say smart shit, people start looking at you like, this nigga think he's smart, bro. This nigga going, what you trying to be an entrepreneur or something? Oh, but that is it's funny in one way, but in another way, it's actually quite sad because it's truly behind a lot of jokes, as anyone may know. And I don't know, man. I don't think that we always just mean the best when we say shit like that. I honestly believe it's a lot of hidden motives behind those kinds of jokes, you know. But as I move forward, right, with the culture, the black culture that we represent, if we just changed everything from us and the culture from being with black people, people that, you know, had ancestors from Africa, if we just changed all of that and transferred it to white people, we'll definitely be calling them the most racist motherfuckers. Even though we already call white people racist, which most white people ain't racist. Most white people don't even have a clue how we are. They really don't care. I'm not saying there's not racist white people out there, but the way it's being projected, I ain't with it. Mm-mm. And I've been around a lot of white people, especially since I've been older, and yeah, I ain't had it, you know. Now I'm not saying that they don't say stuff at home, because I don't know. But from the people I've experienced that being around white people, they not with that racist stuff, you know. In fact, they actually kind of don't really get down with other white people that operate like that, which is kind of funny within itself, right? But as we move forward, right,